Good afternoon, guys. Good evening, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. So, guys, today was much better as far as yesterday, sort of with our Airbnb fiasco, I guess. And so, yeah, we're in a hotel right now. But today was really good. We ended up getting up. Wanted to go out to get something to eat at one place that I think we're actually going to try and go to tomorrow, but it was a little too close to, we actually all sort of woke up late, I think, because like we were expecting to get to again our Airbnb and probably be in bed asleep by like 8 or 9, or I think we got there around 8. It's like 9 or 10 o'clock or something like that. I think by the time we finally got to this hotel and like we were all sort of settled in, it was like already midnight. I don't think I fell asleep until like 2 or something like that last night. And so let me try and turn that light on real quick. So again, everybody ended up waking up. I think we finally got up around 10 o'clock and we had tickets to go and ride I think it's the Mark Twain riverboat, but it's like the riverboats on the Mississippi River, and it's like the Arch Tours or whatever, and I think that was at either 12 or 12:30 or something like that. I think it was at 12 o'clock maybe. We need to be there 15 minutes early, and so again it was like 10 o'clock I think by the time maybe we either got up or we left or something. And so it looked like there was going to be a wait for breakfast, and so we didn't end up going to get that breakfast. So we ended up getting to the riverboats. My mom brought muffins ahead of time because the plan wasn't originally to go out and eat, but we thought, oh, maybe we'll have enough time. So we ended up, like I said, going to go on the riverboat, and I got lots of pictures from that. Plus my mom also has a lot, so I'm gonna see if maybe I can't snag some of her pictures too to share with you guys. But we got to get really good pictures of the Arch, which that was sold out, getting to ride in that. So that's why we got the riverboat tour ones. And then we got to go under all the bridges too, because there's a bunch of bridges like over the river. So we got to again like see all of those, and again there was other sort of sights and things to see on the river. It was about an hour-long tour. So then after that, I think maybe we ended up going to eat then by that point, or something maybe close to it. I think we ended up making reservations. We also got lost like so many times. Not lost, but the problem was too is that there was like not street construction, but they changed recently, I guess, like the some of the streets that went through, they don't go through anymore to get to the places and stuff. And so there was like messages on there to get to the riverboats. There was like messages on there saying like, don't use your GPS because the streets have all been changes recently, like take it to this street. Once we finally did that, we were totally fine. But we ended up, like I said, going over a couple bridges back into Illinois several times today. And then that also ended up happening later in the afternoon. So we ended up going out to eat at this place that's like in like this little like sort of Italian neighborhood. It's called The Hill. It's actually, I guess, where toasted ravioli was first originated from. And we went to this place called, I think it was Mama's on the Hill. It was such good food. Actually, another thing I guess St. Louis is known for is their like cracker crust like pizzas. And so me, my mom, and Jack all ended up getting like pizza. My dad got some type of, I think, pasta. And I still have half my pizza left too. So like tomorrow, if for lunch or on the way home or something like that I want pizza, I can have some pizza. But it was really good. I got like a veggie one, so it had like onions on it and like I said, other types of vegetables and stuff. So it was really good. I went around and visited in this neighborhood because there's this really old church my mom wanted to see. She actually watched a documentary on it like right before we ended up leaving. They have this beautiful fountain. It was like amazing. It's like right next to the church, and it was donated, I think, or something like that. A lot of the benches and the fountain and stuff like that were donated from a ton of families that were in the area. And it's just so cool though. They have like little delis, and it's all like mixed in too with like residential, so it's not like, oh, here's like all of the like business sort of stuff. It's like you go like a block and there's like a deli and all the houses, and then you go to another block and there's like 2 restaurants and then like all these houses, and so it's like all mixed into like this community. It's so cool. It's like so like old school, like 50s 60s sort of like almost like era, sort of like reminds me of like you just like go next door and you just go pick stuff up from like the deli or the local bakery or whatever. So we're gonna go back there tomorrow for breakfast that we were gonna go to for today, I think is the plan. And so yeah, then after that, so we ended up going to well, we were gonna go to Top Golf. We realized that it was more of the Top Golf like virtual Top Golf, so we ended up then not going there, and then we were gonna go bowling, but at this cool bowling place, but all of their lanes were filled, plus like 2 of them like were out of service or something like that, so we couldn't go to we couldn't go and do that. So we actually went like and hung around in this other neighborhood for a little bit. I can't remember exactly which neighborhood it was, but we ended up going and getting like this ice cream sandwich place. I forget what it's called, something Bear sandwiches, or I don't know, something like that. They have like ice cream. I just ended up getting a cookie because like we also got dessert at the Italian place restaurant that we ended up going for lunch, and so like we all split just like 1 piece of cake, which was so amazing. But I was like so just like stuffed after like the lunch, and again I just was like, I'm gonna have just a cookie, because I figured if I had, it was 2 cookies plus like the ice cream, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish all of this. And I really didn't want dairy too, because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get an upset stomach and I don't want to, like, you know, I'm not at home, you know, like I'm on a trip and vacation. I don't want to eat something that's gonna like not settle with my stomach right or something like that. So it's like I'm gonna try and stick to something that again I know I'll be okay with. And again, sometimes I can do dairy and sometimes I can't, so it's like total toss up. So that's why I was like, I'm just gonna stick with just getting the cookie, which the cookie was amazing. So yeah, I think that was sort of it. We ended up then coming back here because we were sort of, I guess, done by that point. I was pooped. Again, we sort of hung around, and oh, we also went to this in the hill this park that was actually dedicated, because that's where Yogi Berra came from, was like in this neighborhood, I guess, and there's like a park dedicated sort of, I guess, in his honor. So we sort of hung around there for a little bit too, and so yeah, like I said, it was just a really fun time getting out, getting to go and see all the sights. We drove past the arch like 100 times probably now, and so yeah, like I said, tomorrow actually, I think we couldn't come up with what we were gonna do. A couple of the things that we wanted to do too, it's tough because of like limitations still and not full capacity right now. Like we wanted to go to the zoo and or possibly the aquarium, and we can't get tickets, I don't think, to the zoo, and we can't maybe get tickets to the aquarium or something like that. Or my mom tried to get tickets for the zoo and for some reason it just wasn't loading, and she tried to get tickets for the aquarium and they're all sold out or something, I don't know. But everything's like on a ticket basis right now, so we can't just like show up. And so yeah, like we can't do any of the couple things that we did want to do actually. So again, we're gonna have to sort of figure out some of those things. But I think tomorrow, like I said, we sort of have to get home early because it is like a 5-hour drive. So I think we're gonna go out to that breakfast place that we were planning on going, and then actually never been to an IKEA. There's a really big IKEA that we passed, I think, on the way coming in, and then today when we went out to possibly go bowling, but went to the ice cream sandwich place, and we ended up passing it, and we were like, my mom's like, I've never been to an IKEA. And so I think even though there's one not too far away from us, like we could go to one back when we were in Illinois, I think we're gonna wind up doing that, because again, there's like a handful of other things we can sort of do, but it's like there's a lot of the stuff is again like all sold out, or like we needed to plan some of the things, or you know, like get tickets in advance. And so even though we again got the tickets luckily for like the river boat, you know, cruise ride sort of. We got those like ahead of time, but like before we even knew. But we also didn't want to be completely like tied down to a schedule at the same time too, like, oh, if we needed to go and do something, or you know, or we wanted to do something else instead of like, and we didn't also know at the same time that we needed some of the tickets to get into certain things. Like we knew that we needed it for the arch, and then when my mom was on there, so she saw we needed it for the river, but we just sort of thought like the zoo and or aquarium, like that they'd be open to go and do, you know, whatever. And so yeah, like I said, we figured we couldn't do that. So there's that. And then also too, I think there's like a science museum that we passed, and I didn't even bring this up. That's what I was trying to think of. I was like, there's a couple other things too that I knew of, like stuff to do. So my mom had like a pamphlet too from like the hotel place here, but we like I said, got that, and that's when we looked up some of the places. But again, it was like it's tough because like it is the weekend, and you know, some of the stuff is operating at like limited capacity, and at the same time too, it's like we don't, you know, like we didn't order like I guess tickets in advance to know what the stuff we wanted to do. But like if we decided like, oh, we'll do this thing today and then maybe we want to do the other thing tomorrow, we didn't have enough time, you know, because like everything also has to be such a time basis sort of thing too, that we have to be on a very strict schedule to everything. So that is a little tough. But yeah, anyways guys, I will share with you guys what we end up doing tomorrow. Again, I'm not really bringing my camera with, I'm just bringing my phone and like hopefully taking whatever pictures and sort of stuff that I can, you know, while I'm out and while we're out, just because I don't want to be tied down with a giant big bag that I gotta carry around. So we're also lucky too, because it was supposed to rain, and it was raining earlier this morning, and then we actually got on the riverboat cruise. It was like slightly drizzling a little bit, but we got so lucky actually that it wasn't pouring rain while we were you know, on the river cruise, and we got to see it from outside, because they do have like covered decks too, and like indoors that we could have sat in, but it probably would have been pretty hard to see a lot of the stuff. So it was really cool that we were able to see, you know, actually be outside to see a lot of the really good sights, because it would have been super unfortunate too if it would have ended up like downpouring while we were trying to, like I said, go and see that. So anyways guys, yes, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.